Hey, party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. This week, I am joined by Shannon and Dapper from the Blue Dawn podcast for a game of 2 Months Engaged. 2 Months Engaged is a wonderful, lightweight, slice-of-life story game that depicts a series of vignettes that showcase the highs and lows in the lives of two people who are engaged to be married in a few weeks' time. By seeing their everyday struggles, we piece together the strength of our young lovers' relationship and figure out if they're going to be okay and get their happily ever after at the end of their story. It's a wonderful little game that can be played in any genre, setting, or universe. I'm a big fan of it. I can't wait for you to hear the episode. I think it turned out really well. Blue Dawn is an actual play podcast focused on relationships, adventure, and the power of storytelling through games. I think it's a great podcast powered by a great group of people. I think you should really check them out. You can find more information about Blue Dawn in the show notes. Real quick before we dive in, though, a few quick announcements. One, special thank yous to our new Patreon backers, Chris Hallberg and Alice Tobin. I really appreciate your support of the show. It really means a lot to me. Seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And speaking of thank yous, Mission Accomplished is funded on Kickstarter. What? If you haven't checked out the role-playing game of Super Spies and Office Meetings, you should head to Kickstarter and do that because it's a wonderful game, and now it's funded and it's going to be a reality, and I can't believe it. I'm so happy. I could scream and cry and do a million other things, but I won't because I need to wrap up this intro. We've already hit our first stretch goal, which means James Wallace, creator of The Extraordinary Adventures of Baron Munchausen and the lead designer of Paranoia, alongside a million other things, is going to write a special mission dossier, the theme of which is Jane Austen, Secret Agent. I know, right? And we're less than 1,000 from getting full-color interior art. I am stoked. This rules. You should head to the Kickstarter link in the show notes and check it out, because it's a great game and I think you're going to love it. And with all that said, let's throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me.
Thanks, future me. This week I am sitting down with Shannon Dapper. Shannon, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
So, real quick, at the top of the show, why don't you take a moment and let the audience at home know about any projects you're working on that you might want them to know about?
Well, I also have an actual play podcast that I'm on called Blue Dawn. We have a couple different campaigns, but we also, if you want to hop in, have been doing some shorter one-shots. So if you want to listen to the game that we're about to play in a different podcast, you can.
That's very exciting. I feel like this is a good game, and I want people to have as many opportunities to listen to it as possible.
Cole and I played it, and it's very good and very set in space.
Good. Very good decision. So, with this week, we are playing 2 Months Engaged by Corv Leary. I am so excited about it. It is a game that I read, and I was like, oh, I want to have this on the show. This is going to be on the show. And I'm so excited that we're going to play it. It is a game about, we are going to be playing two people who, in 8 weeks' time, are about to be married. We're going to play through a number of scenes about our relationship, establishing things that we like about each other and things that we don't like, and then we're going to kind of get an idea of how the wedding plays out, how our relationship plays out from there. It is a lot of driven by improv prompts, and I'm super, super pumped about it. So, why don't we start, since the first thing that we do is define who we are, where we are, when we are, etc., why don't we start and do a little world building?
So, do you have any strong feelings about genre for this?
I super don't. So I was gonna ask you the exact same question. It sounds like you might have something in mind.
Well, I do enjoy playing slice of life. I do enjoy playing slice of life stuff in genres,
Sure.
where it's just like part of the background. So if you want to do like a high fantasy or a cyberpunk or something, I'm totally down.
I was definitely thinking of playing this with like, because I think it's a game that would definitely support a very grounded slice of life play. But I think part of the fun of it for me is watching this marriage play out in like a weird setting. So I think that's definitely where I want to go with it. I think if Blue Dawn has done space, I think I want to do a different setting. So I'm wondering if we want to do something historical or cyberpunk or fantasy. What are you thinking? What jumps out to you?
I said cyberpunk offhandedly, and then I was like, actually, I feel really down for that right now.
I'm pretty down for like that. That definitely hit a note for me where I'm like, I kind of do want to play out like a cool cyberpunk romance. That sounds dope. All right, cool. So we're gonna do cyberpunk, the near future. Important question: are we on Earth or are we on a space colony?
I think Earth would be fun.
I think so too. I think I feel like it's fun to be like, we're on Mars, but I think at that point, I think Earthbound cyberpunk is my jam.
I feel like I don't want to be in, like, one of the 3 major American cities in cyberpunk.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So in that case, I kind of think what immediately comes to mind, and I'm going to throw it out to you and ask how you feel about it. I'm kind of, you mentioned not doing one of the 3 major cities. Doing, like, a small town cyberpunk thing feels kind of dope, like, kind of amazing to me. How do you feel about that?
I would love it.
I'm definitely, okay, so we're in a small town in, let's say, like, middle America, like, Indiana or Minnesota, somewhere, like, out of the way, right?
How do you feel about Appalachia?
Appalachia's fine by me. I live Philadelphia.
I live in the Alleghenies part of Appalachia, which is the Pennsylvania part with the really high mountains.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic to me. My family would go visit. We would drive out west and, like, camp out in the Appalachians every year. I say every year, but I did it, like, twice before my parents moved to Tennessee and we stopped doing it. So I've been, like, twice. But, like, the idea, the visual of, like, a cyberpunk story in those big, massive, like, mountains in every direction kind of town I'm very into it.
Mm-hmm. I live really near, like, a lot of touristy stuff in the Alleghenies. So, like, it's just, like, lots of trees everywhere and orchards and stuff. But, like, drones also happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, like, I imagine that, like, cyberpunk Appalachian tourism would be very much the same thing, only even more so. Like, I'm definitely picturing flying cars, and I'm picturing flying car joyrides, like, happening overhead.
Oh, that's very good.
And so, yeah, I feel like we are in a tiny town in rural Pennsylvania. What's the name of our town? What's a good Appalachian town name?
There's lots of, like, German names around here. And lots of Native American things.
Let's go with, I'm gonna look up, I'm gonna do a quick... Alright, how do you feel about the name, Apfelplantage? It's German for apple orchard. It is very, Pennsylvania Dutch, kind of like farming community town.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I feel like this was a village for a long time. And has maybe recently gotten a little bit overpopulated for what it is.
I think, yeah, for sure. And I think it's been overpopulated specifically with, I think in the cyberpunk future, I think the world building detail that I want to add is that, like, I think it's still heavily forested, and I think that's kind of what has made this area, like, a renewed tourist attraction, is, like, nature.
Yeah, as the cities on either side of the state start to just take over more and more land, there's this, like, little idyllic slice in the middle.
Yeah, and so I think we are overrun with, like, city people, shadowrunners. I'm thinking everybody that comes visits our town is, like, the most cartoonishly, like, cyberpunk, like, robot arm, unicorn horn, and they're just, like, out here like, look, an apple tree, I'm gonna pick an apple, and they just, like, rip a branch off with a robot arm, and it's like, yeah. All right.
God.
This is really good already.
I feel like at least one of our characters has to super work in the tourism industry.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I think... Yes, agreed. And I think... like, it's gotta be, like... a tour guide, right? Like somebody that wears a straw hat.
I was a tour guide for my summer job for a small show cavern, which is another big thing in Pennsylvania because of all the limestone.
Right.
So, I'm definitely willing to export that experience into fantasy.
I absolutely love. Yes. Okay. Good. So we've got a show cavern tour guide. And I think that I would like my character. I love these out-of-town cyberpunk nerds so much. I think I am an out-of-town cyberpunk nerd.
Boy. Oh, God. How did you end up here? How did you end up staying?
I think I am a drone engineer, and I think I've been, I am selling drones to various, strip mall outlet stores and selling them to people, basically kind of somebody calls me up, I stop by with a drone camera and I'm like, look, now you can film a cow.
Oh, it's the future.
It's the future. You can't just look at a cow, you gotta film it with your drone. That's how I make my millions. Oh, I probably am doing really well, and I hate it.
Big city drone boy.
Big city drone boy. Yep, that's me. I am a big city drone boy. So yeah, I think that. So we got our character concepts. Let's hammer out our shared history a little bit. First off, what do you think your character's name and pronouns are?
I'm probably gonna go for they, them, because that's most comfortable to me. I'm just gonna go for, Vera or something. I think Vera's a decent...
Okay.
I think I probably have, a significant amount of cyber enhancements. More than you would probably expect, considering, what the whole bit is for this area, but,
Yeah, sure.
It's good to have them.
Right. I mean, they're available. You may as well at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you. So you're a show cavern tour guide. Do you have cybernetic enhancements to help you navigate caves and stuff?
I've got sonar, I've got echolocation, I've got flashlights in my hands, so I don't have to even carry them.
Mm-hmm. Fucking love it. It's so good, especially because that means that the tourists that you're getting are probably would-be adventure seekers.
In their minds, they're I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna fight an illithid, and it's no, it's just a small, shallow limestone cave with calcite formations.
Yeah, you're it's all just I am so full of simultaneous contempt and deep identification with all of the tourists that we have described. It is a lot. I'm going through a lot right now.
Good.
I think my character's name is last name Drones. It's not my original last name, but it's definitely a marketing decision.
I'm not taking your last name. I'm sorry.
I don't think I would ask you. I think I've very consciously been look, this is a work thing. Oh, I definitely have a secret last name that only you know. And I think my first name is... What's a good D name? I think Dexter's too easy. I'm gonna go with Dylan. Dylan's a good one. Dylan Drones.
Dylan Drones. Oh, Dill.
Oh, Dill's a good... I like Dill as a nickname a lot, so that's definitely where we're going with this. Okay, so we've got Dylan and Vera. We've got, I think we probably met, like, on the tour, because I was definitely, like, scoping it out to see if it was an angle to sell drones, and I saw that you were doing a better job than, like, a drone could do.
Yeah. I feel like it was probably a really slow day, and you came in, and then the two of us just, like, talked over the counter for like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That was our meet cute.
Yep. It's that's a good meet. That is a very good meet cute.
The one of the sweetest interactions is when you're at your job but not doing your job and just talking to someone you think is cute.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. It's what makes day jobs worth like going to. I love all of this. And I think I'm trying to think is there anything else that we want to establish kind of before we go in and play through our four scenes.
See, I can't think of anything. I think this is a good place to start.
I think so, because I think some stuff will come up in play. I know that part of the game is like setting scenes by describing what you like or dislike about your partner. So I think some of that some of our like shared history will come up through those scenes.
So we may end up making other characters to interact with.
Yeah.
So that will kind of flesh out the world more.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, then I've got my deck of cards in front of me. I'm going to, the way that our scenes work is, I'm going to draw a card. I will, we'll go back and forth in setting the scenes. We will each set 2 scenes, and the suit of the card will tell us kind of the core of the scene, and then we'll flesh it out and then play it out. So, our first card, is an 8 of diamonds.
Diamonds is a positive scene with someone outside the couple.
Okay, perfect. Would you like to set the first scene, or should I?
If you have an idea for it, go ahead and I'll set the next one.
I think I do. I think I would like our first scene to be, Dylan meeting with, I think, a very big, very prominent, like, job is coming in. And I think, like, this is, and it is the kind of thing that could, like, drastically improve, like, drastically change our, like, lifestyle. And so, like, I think it is Dylan kind of negotiating this job. And I don't think he's told Vera. I don't think Vera knows that he's, like, taking this job. Whether it is because he is keeping it a secret or because he's just finding it out. I think we'll play that out in the scene.
Can I pitch what the job is?
Yeah, please.
You're probably trying to be the drone contractor for one of the resorts around here, like a 4-star resort.
Oh, for sure.
So
yes, 100%.
They've got golf courses to maintain. They've got all kinds of stuff they need security for.
Yep, they need security drones. They need camera drones. They're transitioning everything to a drone-based infrastructure, and they want me to be the guy to make it happen.
Just to cement how much I work in a tourist town, I also worked for the 4-star resort around here. There's just a lot of tourist stuff.
That's fair. I look, I live not far from historical Philadelphia, so I know the feeling of constant tourism being a constant present in one's life.
So let's see. I'm probably like playing one of the managers or something. Like one of the higher up people who's organizing things.
Yeah. You're probably the person, like, pitching this project to upper management, right? This is probably your brainchild. If you're playing a manager, I imagine this would be like this is your kind of like moment.
Yeah, definitely like trying to find like a local contractor because it's actually what's going to be cheapest. So they've tasked me.
Sure.
So I need to bring you in. Do you think we're having like a preliminary meeting before like the big pitch happens, or? Yes.
Yes, I love that. I think we're right outside of the meeting room. To set the scene, where it's like there are glass doors, but the blinds are pulled, but they don't pull all the way because blinds never work like that. So the people on the other side can see tiny glimpses of us as we move around. And I have come in carrying this is a world building detail that is important primarily for contrast's sake, is that hollow projectors are just a thing, which makes the fact that I have come in carrying an actual overhead projector and like pull down film screen.
That's vintage. That's cute.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. It's vintage. collar pull. That's what I'm going for.
Let's see. I think I need a name for this person. I'm just gonna go with Jessie Barefoot.
Jessie Barefoot.
So she's like she's got her extremely like corporate suit on, like her little suit on. With like the insignia of the company embroidered in, and then also like with a moving hologram on the thread. And she's like flipping through the papers, and she's like, "So this is the number you're pitching them, but what's the real number?"
And I want to emphasize, there's one detail that I want to put on paper because the visual is too strong. No matter how much I want it to be something else, I know what I have to be wearing, and that is blazer, t-shirt, slacks, sneakers, probably, I don't think sunglasses, only because I think I have, goggles that I wear anyway.
Oh, good.
But I think I'm currently wearing the goggles on my forehead, going for that, like, cool lab tech look. I needed that outfit laid out in detail.
Your Final Fantasy-ass goggles.
Yes, I have 100% Final Fantasy goggles that are resting on my forehead.
I think she says that and looks up at the paper and is like, are you married to wearing the goggles?
It's kind of, it's part of the presentation is like, I'm gonna say, what's the line? I'm forgetting it now. I'm gonna say, I should have rehearsed this. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Because I'm gonna say, the thing is, the difference, and I'm gonna pull it down, is visible. And you're gonna see the brand name on the goggles. It's kind of like a marketing touch. Like, it's the piece de resistance. If I can remember the line, it's going to be great. So the real number, obviously, like, there's the number we're quoting. The real number is kind of anywhere between, I want to say half of that, but, like, that's probably too low. Anywhere from, like, half of that to that plus 10% is kind of, because I figure, this is what I want. This is, I think, the number that I want to negotiate at. I'm probably going to start higher, and then if we end up lower, that's cool, but this is kind of the number that I want.
Okay, then you should definitely start higher if this is where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going to start, maybe, like, is double this too much?
50%. Do you have to change your slide? I don't know how slides work. I haven't seen one of these since I was in elementary school.
Yeah, I can change it on my watch. That's not it's the screen, like, It's a whole thing. The short answer is yes, I can change the slide. I just need to know what you think the number that I should start at. You think it's like 50% higher, or is that a good starting place?
Yeah, you should probably go for 50% higher.
Okay.
I have been constantly searching the quotes from the suppliers from Pittsburgh, and they are about 75% higher. So you should slide in. We might manage to make this work.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah. I mean, 50%. Yeah. That's that high, really? That's.
The drone industry saved that town.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's, part of why I didn't go there. But, I mean, I'm glad I didn't go there. But, like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, yeah. Wow, can I be real with you for a second?
Sure, why not?
I think I might get this. I mean, with your help, and I don't want to be overconfident, but like, I think I have a shot.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I brought you in, Guy.
I know, but like, it's. And there's a lot of, like, arm gestures, like, all of the stuff is on a side table, and I'm gesturing, and people in the other room can definitely see all of it, but I'm like, I know that. It's like I guess, like, I came here, and I thought, like, I didn't even tell my partner that I was coming, because I had figured that this was kind of just, like, a formality thing, like, maybe you would buy some drones as a courtesy, but, like, I think, like, I could... I mean, I guess it would depend on the questions during the meeting, but, like, I think I might actually be able to run this.
Well, it's good to know that you've just realized that you might actually do this, so let's go inside before we leave them waiting too much longer. Right.
I'll grab my stuff, and I'll grab a quick selfie for the Instagram. No, that doesn't look good. Hold on. Okay, no. Selfie after. It's fine.
I was gonna say she straightened your collar for you.
He tries it one or two more times, and it's just like, it's selfie after. It'll be great. I'm not in the right light right now. The lighting in the meeting room is much better. It's gonna be fine. Everyone, it's so nice to meet everyone. I am Dylan Drones. It is a pleasure. And I think that's where we call our scene.
Good. There's not much conflict resolution. I think you just get it.
I think Dylan has the job. I think whether or not I think that the central conflict is Dylan is how this will impact our lives. So I'm definitely comfortable saying Dylan gets the job.
Ah, good. What's our next scene? I'm gonna have you draw for me because I don't have cards in front of me.
Yeah, our next scene is the Two of Clubs.
Ooh. Clubs is, I think, a negative scene with someone outside the couple, if I recall.
That is correct.
I have the document up, but then I'm also just recalling from memory because I have played this several times.
Yes. Good. I appreciate your expertise in this matter.
The sheet for it is it goes by Homestuck rules, but so I need a negative scene for Vera, and I think it has to be I'm having a conflict with what wedding venue I want, because it's really hard to actually book things around here.
I think that's absolutely, I think it is, so, do you think that the conflict is that there are, like, the spots that you want, there are no availabilities, or do you think that it's that the spots that you want, there are just, like, horrible compromises that you have to make?
I think that I had booked something, like, a while ago, and I just got, like, bought out, and they 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 refunded my deposit plus like probably another small amount of money. But that means I don't have a fucking venue.
All right, yeah. And so, I think, let's see.
I think I'm kind of like scouting some emergency venues, and then like in my off time just looking up outdoor wedding stuff, like just so angrily like I don't have time to put this together. I'm gonna have to do mason jar bullshit. I didn't want this.
The rage Google is the worst Google.
Angrily looking up like neo Pinterest posts.
Oh, it's the worst. And they're all like, all the stuff you're finding is like, you know, look at this simple homespun solution. It's only 3,000 creds. And you're like, why is it that expensive? Why is it that expensive?
So I think there's like a local church that I'm trying to talk to now. So, I'm trying to convince like the pastor running this church to like let me have a wedding here in 1 month.
Pastor Ashton is my name. They are the events coordinator. I don't think that they own the church. I think they are just specifically the point person. I think that you spoke to maybe the head pastor, and they kind of directed you towards me, and I'm just kind of here like, I can see what we can do?
Yeah, I think Vera's like, you probably like, before the meeting, they're like looking at the church like very judgmentally. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You probably like come into the main area with the pews and see them there, just looking like really sour.
Are you wouldn't? I hope. I mean, you're not Vera, are you?
I've seen you around here before. Do you?
Oh, hot. Well, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, my family just goes for Easter and Christmas, so.
Yeah, great. So you are interested in booking the event space in the back for the wedding, is that correct?
Yes, that would be really good.
Did you have a particular day? If you can say a Tuesday, that would be so wonderful. But as long as you say any day but a Saturday, I think we can maybe make something work.
They kind of make a face and they're like, I mean, Saturday's a really good wedding day. I already sent out the invitations.
Okay. Well, I'm obviously we want to, we appreciate you coming. We appreciate your patronage, your business, and so I will make it my mission. If Saturday is the day for you, we can find a Saturday. Were you looking at a morning, afternoon, or evening wedding?
Let's see. Evening would be preferred?
Okay, I think we can. We have one evening slot. It's in about. We have the space is booked. There's an evening that could be free. Currently, we have the whole day booked, but Megamex Wrestling is only booked until 4, and so there might be a meet and greet after, but we should be able to have the space cleared by 6, but I don't know if we will be able to fully... It is their giant Smashbot deathmatch tournament, is what the event is listed as, so there might be some debris issues.
Thank you so much for your time. I think that I'm gonna go now.
What if we offered you the evening spot for half price?
I think I'm just going to do the outdoor wedding.
Well, you know that we have a number of, you know that we are partnered with a wonderful catering hover truck. They do some wonderful dishes from all around the world. If you need catering help or really any sort of event planning, we are more than happy to accommodate. Really, you know, the venue is a venue. We really want to be your partner to make your special day happen.
I think that they've been looking like more and more stressed out as this goes on, and they're just really not receptive to the sales pitch. And they're like, if you could give me a card or just a QR code or something, and I'll get back to this later.
Of course. And I think they pull back their sleeve a little bit, and they have the QR code like tattooed on their wrist. And they're just like, if you want to give that a quick scan, it will, take you to our website. You can find links to all of our social media. We really hope to hear from you, and I'm so sorry that the space isn't available. I mean, Megamex Wrestling, they do a lot of very good business in the community. It's a big event. People come in from all over. If we could stop them early, we could,
no,
but
it's fine. I knew it was a long shot. As they're walking out, they go over and they light a candle with their eye laser before they leave.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the last thing we hear from Ashton is just, all right, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty great.
Good.
All right, so that's our scene. Let's see what our next scene is. It is a 3 of clubs.
Oh,
that's not great.
For you. You gotta have a bad time.
Oh, I gotta have a bad time. I think. What do I think? I think I have to end a contract.
Oh.
Oh no. I have to end a contract with Vera's boss for running, the drones for the cave, and I still haven't told him.
Oh.
Oh, this is the worst.
It's so hard to find, reliable servers out here in the mountains.
I know, and I've loved doing this. It's given me, I've been working with Vera. What could you enjoy more than working with the person that you love on something that brings joy to a community? We could buy a house.
I'm going to say that Vera's boss is named Robert Vandross, and he is, like most people who run tourist traps, a little bit of a huckster type.
Sure, absolutely, undeniably.
So he, I think he has you in for a meeting in his very tiny office that's in the gift shop.
Oh, it's like, there's probably a curtain. It's not even a full thing, it's just a curtain that he pulls around.
Oh god, yeah. Or it's one of those little outbuildings that you can buy prefabbed.
Yep, that's definitely that. I love that.
And
it's cyberpunk, so it's one of those, but you open up a briefcase and hit a button and it kind of nanobot assembles.
Oh, good. And inside there's the walls are just covered with pennants and little banners and bumper stickers, various other places.
Yep.
And I think he's like, oh, Dylan, this is a lot of news to get all at once. I didn't realize that our contract is coming up. The end of it was coming up so soon. I thought it was just going to be a quick renewal and everything.
That was the plan. That you know, I like I said, I've been so enjoying doing this, but the job offer came, and if I'm being honest, I kind of went on a lark. I kind of said, I'll give them the spiel, they'll shoot me down, I'm not big enough, I'm not cool enough, and then they said yes, and now it's pretty much our contract expires on Friday, and I start working with them on Monday. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere.
He sighs and he's like, well, I didn't throw out the Model 683 security bot that I had. I've been tinkering with it. I went and I got one of those prefab laser cannons that they...
Sure.
Oh, I've really been looking for something to try it out on, but probably gonna have to make cutbacks around here to compensate.
Oh, don't do that. Don't play that card. Like, you can use the laser. You can have fun with it. Don't.
I'm gonna
don't be
have
like
to go
that.
to one of the other server banks. I mean,
you know, come on. We've worked together so well for so long, and this is how you're gonna make our goodbye. This is how you're gonna end it.
Well, this is how you're ending it, Dylan.
Look, I didn't want to play this card. I didn't want to play hardball. I thought we were friends. I thought we had a good relationship. But, I mean, I've got receipts. I know the numbers. I know the numbers of the numbers of people you're pulling in. I know what the drones have done in the last year. And I also know that they have a 6-year limited manufacturer's warranty. So there's no reason that you shouldn't pull those same numbers or greater for the next 6 years. And now you're going to tell me that there's not money? That just because you can't forge your laser cannon that you're going to scale things back? I'm not going to get heated. But I'm just saying, numbers don't lie.
He's like, we don't get a lot of return business. People come once and that's it. That's fun for a weekend. We gotta... I got a budget, but it's going into advertising, it's going to all this other stuff, and I might have to cut hours for the shop and for the tours. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then look at it this way. Then fire me. If you want me to curse you out, I can curse you out. If you want me to make a scene, I can make a scene. Fire me. Take back my downside. Do whatever you gotta do. I don't care. I don't want anybody else to suffer because I got an opportunity. I will give you my vacation days. I will give you everything on this contract as long as... that's... You know how much I make. I'm not cheap because I'm good at my job.
He's like, yeah, I think that might be for the best.
Okay, well, and I think I kind of smile at you and I say, well, then I understand. I am really glad that we were able to reach an agreement on this. I am glad that everything worked out great. I wish you all the best. I will be frequenting here. You'll see me around. We will maintain our friendship. And I, kick over a trash can and throw the door open. And you can rot in hell. I'll see you around, buddy.
Good. You slam the door and then 3 things fall off the wall.
I love it. I love it so much. And I think I walk out and I snap my fingers and 3 drones go with me and I'm like, you do not deserve Dylan drones. And I walk out and look at one of the drones. It has been such a pleasure. You have made me so welcome.
Oh, oh boy.
All right, we have our fourth scene.
I really hope it's a scene with the two of us together.
I would love. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make an executive decision here, and I'm just gonna draw a card that is distinctly a scene between the two of us, because I think we need to have at least some kind of interaction. So
yeah, because I would really love to have the both of us have bad news scene.
I've got a 4 of hearts, a positive scene with your fiance, a scene about something you like about them.
Let's see. You were drawing for me, so it's something that I like about Dylan. I'm gonna say what I like about Dylan is that Dylan doesn't get too freaked out by change, I feel like, and usually instantly tries to see, like, the best in the new situation.
I love it. And I think the scene, if I may, I think I have a strong idea. I think it is in our apartment that evening. You know, you've had to, like, scrap all of the wedding plans. I had to. And you definitely heard about me getting fired, I think, because I think it was a big scene that was too difficult to ignore. And so I think, like, it's me coming back. It's us both probably getting back to the apartment, like, shortly after each other. I think Dylan gets back first and is just kind of, like, pacing around.
I think Vera comes in and, like, looks up and sees Dylan pacing and is like, well, do you want to go first or should I?
It's really up to you. It's fine. I've been kind of rehearsing my thing, so I can kind of go in whichever order. Why don't you go first? I mean, my thing is
well,
go ahead.
We lost
I really
the venue.
don't need to go first.
First of all, bad news. Silver lining, we
lost
do
the
have
venue?
an extra 200 creds because they canceled on us.
I mean, that's not too shabby. I guess that does technically tie into the bad news part. Well, I guess the first bad news part of my thing, which was that I'm sure you've heard, but the contract with the caves got shit canned, I guess is the technical term. The downside got voided, all of that stuff. So the 200 creds is a pretty solid buffer from that.
What happened? Was it Robert or was it you? I need to know who I'm mad at.
Okay, do you want to finish the rest of your thing, or do you want me to kind of go and we'll kind of circle back? Because I'm fine with either, but I just want to double check with you.
I called my uncle and he said we could have the wedding at his farm, which it's fine.
Okay, that's nice. It's I know it's not what either of us, like, wanted, but I will offer you this. And, forgive me for making it about work. I know that you don't like it when I do that, but I'm going to get a lot better views. We're going to get a lot better, like, camera views. If I just set up some drones and send them circling, we're going to get some beautiful shots. It's going to look phenomenal.
Great.
Well, I'm just, like I said, I didn't want to make it about work, but, like, just trying to offer a consolation. We'll have the holographers on the ground snapping shots. We'll have the drones getting 360 footage. It might not be what we intended, but we're going to have something that we will be able to look back on, and we're gonna look great.
It will look pretty with all the apple trees.
Won't it? It will look so pretty. I mean, it's, it is what it is. I know you put a lot of work into it, and I know that you tried. I mean, I know how many venues. Knowing you, I know that you called 14 different venues today to see if you could find another space.
Did.
Was it exactly 14?
No, it was 12. It was a stressful day.
That's fair.
Does my uncle count? Because that's 13, and that's
that counts.
Real close.
That's real close. Sure. Well, yeah. Because you did call your uncle, so yeah, absolutely.
They go over to the fridge and they get like a beer or something, and they crack it open and they sit down and they're like, time to replan a wedding in a month, I guess.
There is a 6-pack of your favorite craft beer in the fridge.
Aww.
And I think Dylan sits down, like, across the table and just kind of, like, I think hits some buttons on the table, and it just kind of, like, turns this very calming shade of blue as he's like, is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
Okay, so, to answer your first question, it was Robert. Do you want to be mad at Robert?
Well, that's not hard.
Because what happened is, we went in, we had a talk. I'm gonna explain it occurs to me. I'm gonna ask you to hold all questions and comments until the end. Is that cool?
That's standard operating procedure, so...
Okay, good. So I explained to Robert that I was not going to renew the contract with the caves, at which point Robert said that was going to mean that people's hours were going to get cut. And so I said, rather than do that, take my downside, take and all the rest of my contract, void it, take the vacation days, take everything. And I made a scene and walked out. We ended on what I think are good terms. I'm not really sure, because he never really confirmed.
They're just they're giggling at this, because what the fuck? This is such a Dylan story.
But I think we're on good terms. I think. I'm assuming, until I hear otherwise, we're on good terms.
They're like, okay, is it question and comment time?
I'll cover the second thing, because I'm pretty sure, is the first question about me not renewing the contract.
You got me.
Okay, point 2, Emerald Lake Resort?
Yeah?
You're looking at their new head of drone operations.
Babe, what the fuck?
I didn't have time to tell you. I should have told you that I was going there today. I'm sorry. I should have told you that was a thing, but...
I just what the fuck? That's good.
Okay, I thought that you were mad that I didn't tell you, and so, I had been kind of feeling, bad the whole day.
That was a really long way around. You definitely started with all the bad news. So, but, good on you. That's a good note to end on. Damn.
I kind of... Okay, to be real, though, I did spend a lot of time pacing around, and that was kind of the plan, was, if I lead with the bad news, the good news is gonna really pop. So, I'm glad that it popped.
This is, the 8th emotional journey I've been on today.
So, yeah, I got a call. I got a call, late last week. They told me to come in just to kind of, give them a pitch. I guess they've been shopping around for kind of a drone overhaul, and it turned out that what I offered, and when I say what I offered, what I mean is, 25% over what I initially offered, was actually, way better than everybody else. And so, I got the contract.
I knew that so overpowered reboot of your banks was gonna help.
It did. It really did. It really did. And I like that they were huge on that because they said that it was a real marketing thing. Like, it's clean energy, but like I'm still kind of a little in shock. Like, holy shit.
They reach across the table and they grab your hands.
And I think Dylan's hand is real clammy. He's been pacing a lot. He's been
like, gross.
I'm sorry that I didn't tell you sooner. I didn't even think I was gonna get it. I kind of didn't think it was gonna be a thing, and then now it's a thing.
I either wouldn't have listened or would have probably snapped at you because I was deep in the wedding planning, and now I'm finally at the... I finally reached a point where I'm not doing any right now. If only because I put everything else on hold.
So, like... That's fair. I mean, but to be fair, so what you're saying is everything is on hold. Okay, so you're saying that everything is on hold at this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Finish your beer.
They chug it.
Well, I didn't mean, I guess I didn't mean chug it.
They just slam it down on the table. Done! I did something today!
That wasn't... Oh my... That was not cheap, and that's very strong, but fine. Sure. You know what? We're having a night out. It's fine. You can chug a strong beer. It's all good. Pick a place. Pick a time. You know what? No. You know what? You've picked enough stuff today. Like, I know the shit you like. I can pick a place. We're going out.
Okay, you have to drive because I am going to get much more drunk tonight, and you might have to carry me home.
And you just slammed back like an 11%, which, wow. I mean, mad respect, but wow. Okay, yeah, I will. Well, okay. What did you have for lunch?
Cottage cheese and nothing else.
Hell yeah, it is wing night, it is trivia night, we are hitting the ball.
Oh yes, trivia night!
Oh, I'm so excited, I'm so excited.
I haven't been to trivia night for 3 months.
Well, that's because they moved it, they moved it to fucking, it used to be on Friday, and that was perfect. But I guess they said Friday night, you can just pull whomever you want. So it was I really miss when it was Friday. I really miss Friday Night Quizzo.
We have to go. We have to show them who they've relinquished their. Hold on. We have to win our crown back and show them. We're going, and it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be so good. We are gonna destroy this.
They give you a big kiss on the face.
Oh, and it's you hug, and the two of you load into the car, and it's a ground car right now, and we drive off to the bar, and that's the end of our scene. And now we kind of lay out. Now we get to go into our end game.
Oh, so we have our hastily put together kitschy outdoor wedding. And
I think it looks. There's definitely a charm to it, but I think it also distinctly kind of looks
a little wilted.
Yeah, and a little thrown together.
The flower arrangements have been sitting out a little bit too long because they weren't delivered at the right time or to the right place and stuff. But it's still good.
It's still good. It's still a fun, and I think the reception, because it's just in a big open field, is just fucking wild.
Oh, it's just a kegger at that point.
It's just a huge ass kegger.
Oh, good.
Oh, and I think I think that Dylan probably gets the whole thing catered by the country club catering people.
Oh, good.
So the food is incongruently nice for everything that's happening around. Oh,
excellent. It's.
But I'm Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's this like really good wedding cake and like some like most of the beer and like other stuff is like pretty cheap, and then it's this like fuck off amazing like buttercream wedding cake that they just made in the bakery at the resort.
Yeah, and I think like it's I think the food is super fancy, but it's like fancy to the point where it's kind of just the slightest bit fast, or it's just the slightest bit past being good. we're like, this food is so fucking fancy, and then you eat it and you're like, it's fine.
Yeah. I could have I won a burger and you gave me like a beef medallion.
Yeah, and it's like, this is alright. Do we Dylan kind of pulls Vera signs like, so we're doing burgers after this, right? Like, how I shouldn't eat too much?
I think they as the reception is kind of winding down, they get like this huge delivery of wings from their bar.
Fuck! This is great. Oh, this is so good. Oh, hell yeah. Wing time.
It's just like their friends left. All the relatives like went back to their hotel. And yeah.
Oh, you know what I bet? You know what I bet has happened is, what happened was like the wedding ended, but like there was a second secret iBook event that was just like, hey, the party starts an hour after the wedding. Don't leave. Just get ready to fucking lose it.
Oh, good.
And then, like, I think what happens, big picture, the thing that I want to, like, the one thing I kind of want to introduce is that I think the drawback to the big contract is that, like, especially in the first year, it takes a ton more time than the cave contract did.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's not, like, with, like, it's not the company that Vera works for, there's a lot more time apart than I think either of us planned for.
Can I pitch you something? In that, I think over the game we established that Vera's really good at organizing things. Mm-hmm. And I think Vera voluntarily cuts back their hours and starts helping Dylan more, and they have a little bit more of their like little cottage industry that they're working on together.
Yeah, I think that might be the closing like thing is like, you know, it takes probably a few, like 2 or 3 or 4, like it takes a while, and it's like especially difficult in that first year until Vera like scales back their hours a little bit. And, like, even when they do that, there's probably, like, a hard discussion of, like, can we do that? Like, are you cool with that?
Mm-hmm. I think they have that thing where you've worked, like, a job that's not challenging too long, where it's, like, you get really comfortable with it because it's easy, but then you're just, like, not engaged, and I think they get much more excited. Like, as stressful as the wedding planning was, they were like, oh right, I can handle stressful things, I forgot.
And so I think that like that first year is difficult. Vera scales back their hours, and then like I think our closing beat is I think that like I'm picturing it was like as like a 5-year contract with the resort.
Mm-hmm.
And then we probably see Vera and Dylan like walk into a meeting to basically tell Dylan's current boss, the owner of the resort, probably like that we are not renewing, and then we kind of see like the website of like a new business, like a new drone business that is specifically like community focused towards like showing historical apple polish?
I already forgot.
I don't remember. I super forgot. Showing, like, our hometown in, like, a new, like, it's about, like, historical, like, guided drone tours, and...
Like, definitely there's one tour of just like fossil stuff. Because you get that a lot with all the limestone. You do a little fossil hunt. God, tourists love that shit.
To be fair, you said fossil shit, and my heart went, "Oh, I want to look at some fossils. Hell yeah!" So yes, I understand the impulse to be excited about fossils
too, Jeff. Don't feel embarrassed. I have a fossil that I found in my yard sitting on my bookshelf.
Good, very good. And so yeah, I think that the day, like the dropping of that website is kind of our closing beat, and I think that these silly cyberpunk kids are going to be all right.
They're making their way in the world. I'm so proud of them.
I am unbelievably proud of them. I got a tear in my eye as I say that's game.
Oh, that was so much fun.
That was so much fun. That was a delight. So, Shannon, thank you so much for coming on Party of One. This was awesome.
This was really fun. I had a blast.
So, real quick, where can people find your work online?
You can find my Twitter at mix_dapper. That's mx_dapper. And I, as I previously mentioned, am on an actual play podcast, Blue Dawn. You can find that on any podcatcher that you choose. And also on at Blue Dawn Cast on Twitter. And like I said, we have some good episodes to sample our show with. Some one-shots where you can just dip in and figure out our voices and what we're about. Oh, sorry, but if you're Clown Monsters, we do have a season about that too, so that's pretty fun.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the show. This was a blast and a half, and I am going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me.
Thanks, Past Me, and thanks again to Shannon for coming on the show. That game was lovely. I absolutely adored it. Be sure to check out Blue Dawn. I think it's a wonderful podcast, and I think they've told some really incredible stories. And be sure to follow Shannon on Twitter at MXDapper. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod, then like the show at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast, and join our Discord community at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. If you enjoyed the show, consider leaving us a nice iTunes review, a social media shout-out, or a word-of-mouth recommendation to a friend. All of those things help new listeners find the show, which helps us do bigger, better, and cooler things. You can also consider backing our Patreon at patreon.com/partyofonepodcast. Patreon backers get access to bonus materials, mini podcasts, and interviews, and Patreon dollars help pay for hosting fees, equipment costs, and all the other little things to keep the lights on. If you listen to this show and you thought, God, I wish I could hear Jeff talk for another 45 minutes, boy, do I have a podcast I think you're going to love. All My Fantasy Children is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast powered by you. Every week, my best friend Aaron Catano Saez and I take a listener prompt, we spin it into a fantasy character, and we populate a shared universe one story at a time. You can find new episodes every Friday at allmyfantasychildren.com. Interested in appearing as a guest on the show? Whether you are a podcaster, game designer, professional wrestler, writer, actor, comedian, film critic, kaiju, financial guru, or you just love a good role-playing game, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And that's it for me. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the force of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.